The older houses used to have not plastic pipes, but asbestos pipes and maybe even steel pipes before our time.
That we are going to be running into water problems. And currently we are there. Today we are going to talk about water and the water woes that are potentially looming at South Africans. You and I grew up close to the Vaal River, and we never ever thought that there would come a time when water is really scarce. But we've always known that South Africa is a water scarce country and that it's a precious commodity that we have to look after. In the meantime, our population has grown, we've had some droughts, and consequently, water has become an issue. People have been warning for a long time that we are going to be running into water problems, and currently we are there. You and I have experienced it, and the time has now come that you actually are forced to make provision for backup water in case you have no water. So often when we have walked where we stay, we've commented on the fact that in the streets, and our area is about, I would say, close to 40 years old. We walk in the streets and then you see water standing in the streets, water leaking, coming up through the road or on the sidewalk. What is the cause of the leakages that we see everywhere that we walk?
Okay, I would say not really deterioration of the pipes. In 1984 or 1980, they started using plastic pipes. But that's quite a thick pipe. It's at least 10 to 12 millimeters thick, the wall of the pipe. I've seen where they did repairs. I checked the pipe, a piece of off-cut pipe, and it was clean inside, nothing wrong with it. Okay, the reason why something went wrong is filling on top. Maybe you have some stones, some bricks, sagging down, and then putting pressure on the pipe and eventually break the pipe. So the older houses used to have not plastic pipes, but asbestos pipes and maybe even steel pipes before our time. The steel pipes tend to rust, of course. Plastic pipes, volgens my knowledge, they're very good. So, and of course, tree roots. That's your biggest problem, the tree roots. So they push them and they force them to one side and then they break. Okay, in the area since 1984, I would say the maintenance isn't too much on the water pipes. You've got maintenance, you always have maintenance, you always have roots, you always have stones on top of the pipe. But the older areas, older than 80, those pipes will have to be replaced at a certain time.
Yeah.
So sometime that will have to happen.
Okay, so it also mainly boils down to maintenance and aging and just looking after and preserving what is already there. And so this is, of course, the responsibility of the municipality to maintain these water supply systems in the areas where we live. Now, that is understandable, and I mean, we always report leaks, and they come out and they fix the leaks. Basically, the city council does that, but I think many places the leakages are not reported, and a lot of water goes to waste that way. Now, it is often said that a problem approaches you slowly and slowly, and then suddenly one day it's a very big problem, and you are faced with a lack of planning at that stage, and now you have to take action very fast, or you are left without whatever you need in order to live a decent life. So electricity-wise, we are there. Most people are trying to make alternative plans, and we are now there with water. So what can a person who doesn't really have a lot of money to install large water tanks, what is the best that they can do in your estimation?
Water, everybody uses more water than you actually can imagine. When we say 1,000 liters, it sounds a lot. When we say 1 cubic meter, many people maybe don't even know how much water that is. Well, that's 1,000 liters. And we easily use 1,000 liters per day. Sometimes there are 8 people. We are 8 people at our place, and then we use more than 1,000 liters a day. Mm-hmm. At the beginning, I thought, wow, 1,000. Okay, we'll buy a 2.7 cubic meter. That's 2,700 liters. And then I suddenly realized that's only water for 2 days. But that's with 8 people. So if you can start, rather go a little bit bigger than you think is necessary. Rather go to do 2,700 liters. If there are 2 people or 3 or 4 people, rather go for 5,000 if it's possible. I did my second tank, a JoJo tank, with 5,000 liter. It should have been actually a 10,000 liter.
Yes, you always need more than you think. Yeah. But the price is always an issue. So
price is an issue.
You try to get most tank for as little as possible money. So the thing is to get a container where you can store the water, right? So that's
must
the
have
first.
a container.
You must have a container. Yeah. You can catch up rainwater, or you can replenish from municipal water when you have it. Now, I read an article where it was said that the average family of 4, if they don't, open taps recklessly and waste a lot of water, they use at least 500 liters of water a day. That would be for cooking and washing.
Yeah.
But in a subsequent article, I read that they said in South Africa, the average person uses 279 liters of water per day. So that is more than 500 liters for a family of 4. I'm sure this includes maybe watering gardens, washing cars, etc. So that is when you work with water quite lavishly.
Maybe that also includes the loss of water.
Okay. Could be. It includes the loss of water as well. Yeah, over which we don't have control. Okay, now you've now decided you're going to set up a tank because you don't want to be caught unawares and without water. Now you get someone to give you a quote on supplying you with a water tank. What should this quote contain? What do you need to have a functioning system where it's easy to use the water from your tank once the tank is operational?
Yes, of course, you don't want a tank with a tap and you carry the water into the house. That's the last thing you want to do. Okay, the perfect system, like I installed at our place, we've got 2 JoJo tanks, a 2.7 and a 5,000 liter, connected, and also connected to our incoming water pipes, our main supply water pipe. also with an electric motor, of course, because you can always make a tank stand, but it's not realistic to do that in town, you know. Then you don't need the pump. The municipality pressure can fill up the 10-meter tanks if they're 10 meter in the air. But at our place in town, you don't do it. You just put it on the ground. Also not on the ground. You must make a base, of course. You'll have to create a base. It could be concrete. It could be G5 filling with some cement mixed in. That's a good way to do it, because water is heavy. 5,000 liter weighs 5 tons. It's more than you think. Okay.
Could you, for argument's sake, put it on a bed of sand?
You can.
You can.
You can.
So
rather filling, well-rammed filling. Okay, G5 is a term that we use in the building trade. Not clay ground. You can't actually work with clay ground where you fill up. You can put a concrete base. You can put like I say, G5. It's a very compactable type of soil. They also use it for road building. They even use a better one with bigger stones in. You get one with smaller stones, smaller and smaller. All right. And then the pump also. Our pump is permanently on, and it only switches on by itself when the pressure drops. In other words, when the municipality water goes away, then our system switches on automatically. With non-return valves, it doesn't flow back into the municipal service, but your pressure is always there. It's always like on 4 bar, whether it's municipal supply or whether it's our own pump supply. It happens from time to time that the pressure drops and we don't even realize it. We actually read it on WhatsApp that we've got no water, but not us. So we're lucky in that, as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. So the water pressure is important, because I've often noticed that, for example, when I do laundry, there's basically no water pressure, and there's a very slow inflow of water into the washing machine. But with the pressure pump, that issue disappears. Is a pressure pump an expensive item?
You get cheaper pumps, you get more expensive pumps. The cheaper pumps like 3,500 rands, that on and off. Then you get a multi-speed pressure pump. That's the one I prefer now. We still got the on-off one. Then you get the multi-speed one. It switches on slowly, and it can hold it can pressure a small stream of water. For instance, if you wash your teeth, then there will be just that little bit of pressure. If you use the bath, it goes maybe on high speed. That's the way to go, as far as I'm concerned. But everything costs money, and those pumps are about 10,000 rands.
Sure. Yeah. So that's a bit of a large expense for a normal household, unless you have that kind of money to spend on the pump.
But nothing wrong with the on-off pump, the one of like 3,500 rand. Nothing wrong with it. That's the one we've got at the moment.
It works very well.
Yes.
Now, what work did the plumber need to do? Why did we have to get a plumber?
Well, basically everything. You can install the JoJo in place. So you buy it, prepare the base, and put it in place. That's actually all you can do. Then the plumber comes and he does all the pipe work. It's not so easy. I used to do plumbing with my dad. I thought, no, I think I'll do it. It's not so easy. I rather got the plumber, that guy that I work with. I said to him, you rather do it. He did it. He also had knowledge of these things, how to connect the pump so that it doesn't flow back in the street, so that it switches on by itself. So it's not a trick. It's not something you'd have to know.
Yeah, you have to have knowledge to do this. And I must say our system works seamlessly.
Absolutely.
It's never given a problem. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
But we did get a proper, well-qualified plumber that knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then there is obviously electricity involved because of the pump.
Yes, depending on how far. Well, electricity. If it's far from the house, and mine is like let's say 15 meters from my house. That's where we installed it. But I had a cable, rolled it off, fit it against the wall, so that worked beautifully. Also, our main house supply is fitted against the wall. So if there's a leak, you can see it. You don't have to look for it in the ground. I prefer that.
Yes.
And we use the PVC pipes these days.
Yes. Oh, excellent. So a proper water backup system consists of a booster pump, some electrical work to make this pump function fully. You basically need a base for your tank, a concrete slab, or the other way that you explained. And then you also need the tanks, of course. And these are the elements that you have to look out for. Did you need to dig any trenches or not?
Because I fit all my pipes against our boundary walls, and then I paint them so you can see them. I want to see them. I don't want to hide them. I went out of the ground specifically for that. I also replaced my main feed that used to be in the ground, galvanized pipe in the ground. I replaced it with a PVC pipes against the wall so that I can always check if there's a leak.
Okay, so for people looking to get quotes on a water backup system, they should bear in mind that if you want a decent system, your quote should have a pump, a tank, piping, a concrete base or a slab for this tank to stand on, and the full installation of the tank would then combine those elements.
Connected to the house, of course.
Connected to the house, of course. We paid around, I think it was around 22,000 Rand because we could do most of it ourselves.
Yeah, and
right.
That was the second stage.
Yeah.
And that didn't include the pump. So I would say if you do a system as big as ours now, it will be in the region of 30,000 rands, but you can do it maybe for 25,000 rands, depending on what pump you use.
I see. Okay.
100% fully functional system.
And it gives you so much peace of mind
Peace
to
of
know
mind.
that if there is a water outage of probably up to 2 weeks, if we work with that water really carefully, we will have water for 2 weeks.
And we only use municipal water.
Yeah.
We don't use rainwater at all.
Yes.
Because I don't want to wash the tanks, the JoJo tanks from time to time.
Yeah, you want clean water, in
yeah.
your tanks. Yeah, you can catch up rainwater, but that's another thing, and it needs to be cleaned, and it becomes more expensive. Although if you have the money, it's a wonderful thing to do.
Also another route.
Route to go. Eventually, one might have to go that route. But we didn't need to do that at this
We don't
stage.
have it now,
Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming in. I think people should have a better understanding of what a backup water system needs to consist of. And if you have the money, if you can do it, do it. You never want to be caught with your pants around your ankles. It's unfortunately another expense we never thought that we would have to go to, but there you go. You need to do it. We would rather have preferred to save that money, but you can't live without water. So it's a essential thing for life. You can't be without water, and you have to make that provision.
You can be without electricity. You can't be without water.
Thanks a lot for sharing your knowledge with us. It was very insightful.
It's a pleasure.